Let's talk some more space aliens today, shall we? Today, though, we will not be talking Earth invasion like we have previously recently. We're going to talk about Avatar: Fire and Ash, a space alien story that takes place on another planet, Pandora. Everyone's familiar. I'm not going to dig too much into that background. These are two of the Avatar 1 and 2, two of the highest grossing movies of all time. So pretty sure everyone here is familiar with what those franchises are. Probably seen them many times over. So, but we're gonna do a couple things first. As if you've watched before, you know this that I tend to bury the lead a little bit. We'll be talking trailer reaction, but before I get into that, I will make you come along with me on a little side quest first. But yes, let's get to that. So on the topic of revenue, let me bring this up here. We're going to bring this screen up. Yes, so we're going to look at some numbers here. Let's make that a little smaller. So as we see here, Avatar number one on the all-time revenue list according to Box Office Mojo, IMDb Pro. So 2009 was when the first one came out, made all the money. I mean, they made all the money, biggest movie ever. So Avengers Endgame, second place. Not a great movie. It was okay. Infinity War was much better, but Endgame, because it was the end of that entire over a decade of movies. It brought everything together. So I understand why it made this much money, but not as good as Infinity War. Infinity War was the better one. So then you see here Avatar: The Way of Water, also made all the money, 2022. So we had a 13-year wait between 1 and 2, which was insane. I can't believe. Well, I mean, they were both good movies. I'm not surprised they made that money, but I figured they would have fallen off a good amount more, making people wait that long. If you make people wait that long, tastes change. People aren't into the same stuff. Sometimes you can lose a good amount of people, even from a good product. But they seem to hang on for Way of Water, and that was a fun movie. Another weird thing about that one was that they handed the story off from the adults, Jake Sully and them to the kids. I when I first walked into that movie and I kind of saw what was happening, I didn't think that was a good idea, but the movie ended up being very enjoyable. They did a good job. And then from what I've seen of this one so far, of Fire and Ash, it looks like they're handing it back to the adults. So Jake and them are going to be back in charge. And then they've established the young characters as useful pieces for what's coming. So like I said, I've seen a little bit of it so far. I've seen this trailer. I think they had it going for the Fantastic Four. They had it in the theater, but I was too busy with my nachos or something, so I only passively paid attention. It was just more like, oh yeah, there's Avatar, and then I just kind of got back to my food. But we're gonna watch it today. But one other thing I'm going to jump into before we do that, now that we've looked at the money, is how James Cameron seems to have borrowed some storyline from Dune to make this movie. It's very similar to Dune, which I'm also a big fan of, which makes sense why I like this movie series also. I love Dune. I liked the original a long time ago. And then the most recent ones with Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya, I'm a huge fan of. I can't wait for the third one of that. So, but let's quickly read through this article and see about these comparisons. So, even in 2009, it was obvious to many critics, even those who liked Avatar, that the film lacked originality in terms of its plot. And a lot of things aren't original. If you execute them well, though, you can still have a good product, even if you are not fully original. So while the Ferngully and Dances with Wolves comparisons are fairly rote now, the slightly more obvious plot structure Avatar borrowed from was Dune. In fact, most of the world building Avatar supports a general plot structure that is nearly identical to Dune. This is true. Very true. Here's the big stuff. So both feature a planet that is the source of the most valuable substance in the universe. Both depict a callous colonialist force occupying said planet only to mine this resource. Yes. And most crucially, both stories focus on a character who is part of the outside colonialist forces, who falls in love with a native person. So that's Paul Atreides and Inchani and Dune. So then organizes an uprising of the native peoples against the colonial forces and masters the ability to ride a space animal in the process, which is, that's very specific. So the idea that the planet Pandora is a watery jungle planet almost scans as a Dune ripoff, insofar as as it's the easiest way to do the opposite of a desert planet. So yeah, he just went complete opposite of that to try and misdirect. But we're on to you, James Cameron. We figured you out. Let's see here. Instead of Fremen riding sandworms, the Na'vi ride mountain banshees, which again simply swaps sand for the air and ocean. Whereas author Frank Herbert was creative with naming planets, people, and objects in Dune. Arrakis comes from Arabic and references the star Mu Draconis. James Cameron picked the name Pandora because of the extremely famous Greek myth of Pandora's box, so, which even if you never read, you already understand. And the less said about the on-the-nose naming of unobtainium, the better. That is the silliest. I can't believe he named it that. What a silly thing. I mean, you're completely... you're not even trying by calling it that, but whatever. The movie's good. We're going to go from there. So let's jump into this trailer and see what we think. So let's go full screen here, and here we go. Well, it looks beautiful already. It looks incredible, but that's what you expect from the Avatar brand. I mean, they are known for just fantastic visuals, and you can already see they're doing the same. This real quick though, while we're on this screen here, this the Sigourney Weaver character threw me off in the last movie because she is now playing like a teenage alien, and hearing the Sigourney Weaver voice come from that teenage alien, it threw me off because I can just picture Sigourney Weaver, and she's on the older end. She's been around a while. I've heard her voice plenty of times by now, and it's always in that aged face. God bless her. She did a good job, but it's just jarring seeing her voice come from a young person, or what's supposed to be a young person. But anyway.
The strength of the ancestors is here.
It looks incredible. It looks incredible already. So we see our water people back that we met in the last movie. The remaining human-born character, he's here. We apparently have some conflict there. We're not getting much exposition yet. It's not really. I don't think they've really said anything. So
you cannot live like this, baby, in hate.
If there is something you can do, then you must do it.
So this there's our new tribe here. Freaking cool looking. They look awesome. They do a good job of differentiating between these tribes and giving them just slightly different looks, and obviously different garb, different styled clothing and such. Even their housing structure here looks very different than anything we've seen before, which is great work by the visual effects team.
The children! No, Spider. And we will find another way.
Yeah, I usually talk about what we're seeing a little more, but they're really not giving us too much here. It's just a lot of the visuals, the conflict, showing you the other tribes. You definitely see the humans show back up. So let's see if we get something to talk about toward the end of the trailer here and go from there.
goddess has no dominion here.
Okay, so December 19th is when this comes out. We didn't get too much from that. I mean, they show us the world, which is great. It looks fantastic. Like I said, we're still kind of waiting to see what is going to happen with Sigourney Weaver's character. She was born kind of that planet. She was almost like a combination of the planet and the technology there to produce her. So we'll see if that. I mean, I imagine we're going to get a little more of that this time, since we kind of saw last movie. She was starting to kind of understand how to use whatever power is in her, and maybe that's going to develop a little more this movie. I know they have more movies planned, so I don't know if they're just going to slow bleed that out. But this is going to make all the money again, so they don't even have to tell us anything. They could pretty much just put this Avatar logo up for 2 minutes here and give us nothing else until the movie comes out, and it's still going to make $2 billion, probably more. So, but we'll leave that there. I imagine we'll probably get some more coming up soon as we get closer. This is a ways off. December, they're gonna give us more trailer, but at this point, this is just kind of giving us a peek at the new tribe. So, but we'll go from there. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.